There are not enough homes. Everyone knows this. So why did builders just stop building? In May 2026, U.S. housing starts collapsed 15.4% in a single month. Multifamily construction, the apartments and condos most people can actually afford, down 41.6% in 1 month. At the exact same time, the United States has a shortage of 1.2 million housing units, 1.2 million homes that need to exist and don't. In the UK, one of the country's biggest house builders just described what is happening as a perfect storm of subdued markets, rising mortgage rates, cost pressures, and geopolitical uncertainty. In South Korea, construction employment just recorded its largest annual drop in 26 years, larger than the drop during the Asian financial crisis, larger than the drop during 2008. This is not a Canadian problem. This is not an American problem. This is a global paradox. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why builders are stopping in the middle of the worst housing shortage in living memory. Stay with me, because the third reason is the one nobody is saying out loud. Reason 1. Building homes is not profitable anymore. Not at the price most people can pay. Think about this from a builder's perspective. You spend 2 years getting planning permission. You buy land at peak prices. You hire contractors at inflated labor costs. You pay for materials that cost 30% more than they did in 2021. And then you try to sell the finished home to buyers who cannot get a mortgage they can afford. The National Association of Home Builders confirmed it. Builders are facing higher costs across the board, a shortage of labor, rising material costs from inflation and tariffs, and mortgage rates that have made buyers disappear. In the UK, the situation became acute overnight. In the weeks following the Iran conflict in February 2026, more than 1,500 mortgage products were withdrawn from the market. 2-year fixed rates jumped from 4.8 to 5.5%. That single shift added £90 a month to the cost of a £200,000 mortgage. For first-time buyers already at their limit, that was the difference between possible and impossible. And when buyers disappear, builders stop building. Not because they want to, because the maths tells them to. Reason 2. And this one is almost invisible to most people. The people who should be buying new homes aren't moving. And the reason they aren't moving is the same reason builders aren't building. Mortgage rates. Between 2020 and 2022, millions of homeowners locked in mortgage rates at 2 and 3%, the lowest rates in recorded history. Today, if those same people want to move, they have to give up their 2% mortgage and take on a new one at 6%. The monthly payment on the same house roughly doubles. So they don't move, which means their home never comes to market, which means the young family trying to buy their first home has nothing to buy, which means the builder looking at demand signals sees nothing. Harvard's 2026 housing report confirmed it. Only 11.2% of households relocated in 2024, a record low. The housing market has not slowed down. It has frozen. And in a frozen market, building more homes is not a solution. It is a risk that most builders are no longer willing to take. If this is the clearest breakdown of the housing crisis you have seen, that is exactly what Neo Economy is here for. Subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep going. Now, reason 3, the global one, and the one nobody wants to say clearly. Reason 3. This is not happening in one country. In the United States, single-family construction fell 6.9% in 2025. Construction spending in May 2026 was down 1.5% from a year earlier. One Missouri builder told reporters he now builds 25 homes a year, down from 50 to 60 just a few years ago. In the United Kingdom, small and medium-sized builders are facing severe financial distress. Many are halting building operations entirely, selling assets, pivoting to renovation work just to survive. Crest Nicholson, one of Britain's largest builders, cut its 2026 sales forecast from 1,700 units to 1,500 and raised its anticipated debt position at the same time. In South Korea, construction employment fell by 146,000 workers in the first half of last year, the largest construction employment drop in 26 years. South Korea's top 10 builders are now pivoting to Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, because the domestic market has simply stopped working for them. 3 countries, 3 economies, the same story. Builders, in the middle of a global housing shortage, stopping.
So here is the paradox, stated plainly. There are not enough homes. The people who need homes cannot afford them. The people who own homes are locked in and cannot move. The people who build homes cannot make the numbers work. And the governments that could change the rules are moving too slowly to matter. The NAHB's chief economist put it diplomatically. The best way to ease the housing affordability crisis is for policymakers to remove barriers that are hindering builders. What he did not say, but what the data implies, is that those barriers have existed for decades, survived countless crises, and show no sign of being removed quickly enough to matter. Zoning restrictions that prevent density where people actually want to live. Planning processes that add years and millions to every development. Labor markets that have been short of construction workers since 2008 and never recovered. The housing crisis is not a failure of builders. It is a failure of the systems around them. And until those systems change, the paradox continues. Not enough homes, builders stopping, prices staying high. The gap between those who got in and those who didn't getting wider every single year. So what do you actually do with this? First, stop waiting for prices to crash. A crash requires supply. Supply requires builders.